thoughts?
Well, I think this is a great situation for a team that needs a quarterback. Right now, if Chicago could pick him up, that would be fantastic for him. It changes the whole complexion of the rest of the season. Same thing with, I would imagine he'd get picked up, and it helps clear things up in Denver.
So $2.5 million for 6 games. That's what the Broncos are saying.
Well, when you look at Chicago and you look at Houston, both these teams are in the playoff mix. And to get a guy like Kyle Orton, who I think is still very good, I think that's a great thing.
And this also sends a message to Tebow. You're our guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with them signing Kyle, it's just what you said, Eric, with Houston, also Chicago, with Haney being there, it gives them a quarterback with a little bit more experience, and if they can sign him, this might be the missing piece to really get him to the next level.
And he is a veteran. That's what everybody's looking for, these injured quarterbacks who are bringing in the young players. Get somebody with a little locker room presence. Okay, we'll be covering that story as we move forward. But as I said, there are 3 really good games on Turkey Day. Traditional host Detroit, last one Thanksgiving Day. 2003, when the Lions beat the Packers. Unbeaten Green Bay, the opponent this year as well. Lions and Packers combined to score 85 points. Oh, by the way, just last Sunday, Bob Holtzman is in Green Bay. Bob, it's a short week. What are the concerns there for the Packers?
Well, Chris, linebacker Clay Matthews, wide receiver Greg Jennings, running back James Starks, all limited in practice today. But head coach Mike McCarthy says he expects Jennings and Matthews to play Thursday. The big question still is Starks. We talked to Starks in the locker room. He said he feels a lot better, but he is still in question for this game Thursday in Detroit. Now, whether they have Starks or don't have Starks, the main focus for the Packers is protecting Aaron Rodgers against that Detroit defensive line.
I mean, they got as good a front four as you're going to see, and they rotate some guys in who can play as well. So it's going to be important for us to be able to control them when they're, when they're just rushing 4. They've been getting out the passer really well, obviously with Van de Bosch and Averill. They got a good rush up the middle. So it's going to be important for the up the middle guys to be stout and our guys on the edge to be able to handle the one-on-one matchups.
They're a physical bunch. They get after the quarterback, and it's going to be a big role on us to stay in front of our guys, make sure there's no hits on him, and that he has as much time as he needs to throw the football. I mean, we got great receivers that get open and get open fast. So it's just a matter of us giving Aaron as much time as he needs to find that guy, and if he needs to move around, then still stay on our guy so that he can make plays.
The last time the Packers played in Detroit was last December. Detroit won that game 7-3. Aaron Rodgers was knocked out with a concussion. Packers offensive lineman TJ Lang said today they watched film of that yesterday and left the room with a sick stomach. It was almost a blessing in disguise, though, for the Packers, because after that, Aaron Rodgers came back. He's won 16 straight starts. He's thrown 45 touchdowns during that span and is averaging more than 300 yards passing per game. But that last trip to Detroit, something certainly on these Packers' minds. Chris?
Bob Holtzman live in Green Bay. The Packers do give up a lot of yards. Only the Buccaneers and Patriots allow more per game, but Green Bay 15th in points per game allowed, thanks in part to a defense that's intercepted a league-high 19 passes. Lions also ball hawks on D, 15 interceptions, 22 takeaways. We're back with Eric and Jerry. Worth repeating, on Sunday, these two teams combined to score 84. The defenses also combined to allow 61. So you first, Eric. Who's bringing the defense to Thanksgiving?
Well, I think it's amazing the fact that they only scored 10 points the last time these two teams got together. It's probably going to be Green Bay. They play a lot of man-to-man defense. They're very creative with the zone blitzes that they bring, and I think that's going to be the key to the game, because Detroit's offense is really hard to stop. And you see in this situation right here, it's one of those zone blitzes that I was talking about. They're going to bring Sam Shields off the edge. They rotate the safety down. In this situation, B.J. Raji drops back into coverage, is able to pick it off and score a touchdown. It's 4 times in the NFC Championship they ran this defense, and they ran it again right here against San Diego this season. Same exact situation. You can see the slot defender. He's going to come back to the half the field. Here comes Shields off the edge. It looks like it's a 3-deep coverage. They sell that to the quarterback, to Phillip Rivers, come up and intercept the ball. So it's not just the man-to-man defense that they play down and down out, but it's the creative zone blitzes and the way that they pressure opposing teams, which is a real problem.
And Eric, you hit it right on the nose there. I'm expecting this defense to step up because they've pretty much been embarrassed. LeGarrette Blount ran through this defense, and when you got a receiver like Calvin Johnson, you're going to have to really face this guy and man up. And I think with Tremont Williams, he's going to have to do a great job of trying to cover him one-on-one.
You gave me a surprising prediction yesterday on SportsCenter. I said, give me the score of this game, expecting you to go high. And you said?
24-20. And the reason why I say that, someone is going to step up, and I'm expecting the Packers to do that. 24-20
Packers.
Yeah.
Yes, let's make sure we make that clear. Don't want to say you're predicting a loss for the unbeaten team. Well, coming up later on NFL Live, great story from Tom Jackson and Dominican Sue, Javid Best to the rescue. How these two Lions came to the aid of a high school program in the inner city. ESPNChicago.com reporting Bears quarterback Jay Cutler will undergo the surgery on his fractured right thumb tomorrow in Vail, Colorado. Bears head coach Lovie Smith said yesterday he believes Cutler could return at the end of the regular season. And we welcome in ESPN's John Clayton. John, with Jay Cutler out, they're going with Caleb Haney this week against the Raiders. But at this point, let's talk about the other options. Kyle Orton has been waived. What are you hearing?
Well, the interesting part now, Orton can be a candidate because what you're looking at is J.T. O'Sullivan and Matt Gutierrez, guys that have at least been in the Mike Martz system somewhat, but the fact that Orton now may be available, the question will be, what do? You put in the waiver claim for tomorrow and pick up that final $2.5 million salary, or do you wait until Wednesday to find out the real timetable? Because it's either 4 weeks or 10 weeks, and so you may have Jay Cutler back, and so it's a waiting game. And it's also the same thing in Houston, because Matt Schaub will know by Wednesday or Thursday how that Liz Frank injury is going to be for him and if he's going to be able to return this year. If he's able to return, they may not go out and sign any of the list of quarterbacks they worked out. They worked out 5 on Monday, including Jeff Garcia, Kellen Clemens. They also worked out Trent Edwards, but now Orton could be something that they would do after he clears waivers. So there are options, but they're going to wait in Houston to see first if Schaub's going to be available, and they'll know it by no later than Thursday.
All right, let's go back to the NFC North. What's the latest on the Vikings running back Adrian Peterson?
Well, Adrian's going to be in a boot until Thursday and then try to come out of the boot and see if he can practice on Friday. It's a grade 1 high ankle sprain. I would compare it very similar to Felix Jones, and you know he missed 2 weeks. So even though they're leaving the door open for him having the possibility of playing, I don't see him playing this week, and I actually question whether he's going to be able to play next week. But you get to Friday and see how that is coming out of the boot. Matt Hasselbeck will also know by Friday if he's going to be able to play. He has an elbow injury, but it's not serious. The question is, can he practice? If he can get on the practice field, throw without any pain, and most importantly, grip the football. That's going to be his biggest challenge with the elbow injury. If he can grip the football by Thursday or Friday, then he can play. If not, it'll be Jake Locker, but Jake Locker for only 1 week. If he misses this game, Hasselbeck should be back the next week.
He's John Clayton, and he's back later on NFL Live with injury updates on the Thanksgiving Day games. Rob Gronkowski found the end zone twice, broke a record in the process, but the Pats aren't playoff ready. What else do they need to fix? Tim Tebow trying to make believers out of many, including John Elway, what the former Bronco great and current Tebow boss had to say, and how did Tebow react? And the Harbaugh Bowl, brothers with similar coaching styles. Eric breaks down the plays and tendencies these two share.
You will never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season. And you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of this season. God bless.
The Denver Broncos select
And Tim Tebow is going to be in at quarterback for the Broncos. Tebow's going to run this football. Tebow inside the 10. Tebow inside the 5. Tebow's got a Denver touchdown. He's going to set up the screen. He's got no shot. He's got a touchdown.
They're within 2. They'll try for 2. For the tie, Tebow, they got it! 15 unanswered points by the Denver Broncos. He got it! Denver and Tebow have won!
Larry Fitzgerald has been one of the best receivers in the game since entering the NFL in 2004. Coming off his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season, Fitzgerald became the first player in Cardinals history to record at least 1,000 yards in 4 consecutive seasons. Stumbling through most of last season, the Cardinals never got on track and posted their first losing season in 5 years. Look for Fitzgerald and the Cardinals to get back on top of the NFC West in 2011.
Eric Mangini, Jerry Rice, me, Chris McKendry. Guys, let's go through Monday Night Football, Patriots and Chiefs. Tyler Palko starting for injured Matt Castle, second quarter. It's deflected. Kyle Arrington comes up with it and takes it down to the 46. We're going to take another look, Coach.
Yeah, I'll tell you, these are 2 big hits here. There's the initial hit on the quarterback, and then there's the secondary hit down the field. And sometimes this is just how it works. You get the 2 big hits, and then you get the interception.
Here we are in the third quarter. Palko's pass deflected again. Arrington takes it. Now leads the NFL.
I'll tell you what, he has just had, the ball is finding him this season. Sometimes that happens.
Second quarter, Rob Gronkowski, Brady finds him. He's wide open over the middle, Jerry, and he's taken it all the way 52 yards for the score.
Well, it's no stopping this big guy. Great ball by Tom Brady. Then he's off to the races, and he's not going to be denied, and he was able to score.
And after a slow start, that finally put the Patriots up 7-3. And then in the third quarter, he finds Gronk again. He has 20 career touchdowns in just 26 games.
I landed. I looked. I was like, did I score? I didn't even know if I was in or not. I never jumped up in the air before. I remember the moment and everything. If I didn't, I still wouldn't even say I didn't.
That is a scary tumble, Eric.
That is, and he's had some neck problems in the past, and that's what made it even more scary. He just reminds me a lot of Jason Witten.
34-3 is your final. Dodge next, showing us what's next. AFC leading 7-3 teams. The Patriots, Ravens, Steelers, and Texans. Pates have the easiest remaining schedule in terms of opponents' win percentage. Next 3 games against teams with losing records. In fact, they don't have an opponent on their schedule that has a winning record. Their opponents have combined to lose twice as many games as they've won. So that is nice for New England. In the race for the AFC's top seed, Patriots catch the scheduling break. But if the road is to the Super Bowl through Foxborough, what do they still need to work on?
Well, I think we all have to remember they switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3 for the first time in 11 years, and that has been a work in progress, and they hadn't worked out all the kinks. Now they've got a volume of injuries, so they're inserting new players as they're still trying to establish an identity defensively. That's, to me, where the emphasis has to be and where the improvement needs to continue to be.
And I think it's Chad Johnson or Chad Ocho, whatever it is. He needs to start balling because he can take that level off the top. And Gronkowski, you got Welker, Deion Branch, all these guys making plays. They need Chad Johnson, Chad Ocho to make plays.
Well, he hasn't done much of that, Jerry. In fact, 11 receptions for 201 yards, not a single touchdown. So if he's going to ball, he better get doing it.
Well, maybe I'll send him a tweet or something like that to get your butt going.
Yeah, inspire him, please. Once again, the story's out of Denver today, and that is after a 1-4 start, the Broncos benched Kyle Orton, and as of today, they've also waived him, hoping someone will pick up the $2.5 million remaining on his contract over the next 6 games. Houston, Chicago, Kansas City, these are all teams with significant injuries to their starting quarterbacks. We'll see if there are any takers out there. After a 1-4 start, Broncos made the switch to Tebow. Now in 2009, Orton went 8-7 in his first season in Denver, but has won just 4 of his last 18 starts. But meanwhile, Tim Tebow, since replacing him, hasn't won over everyone. Broncos are just a game back of first of the Raiders in the AFC West, yet during his weekly appearance on 102.3 The Ticket in Denver, John Elway had this to say.
Are you any closer to feeling that you have your quarterback on this team than you were 4 or 5 weeks ago?
No. I mean, I think that obviously he's making progress week in and week out. And so I think that, when you look at our third down numbers, those have to improve. I mean, and that's the bottom line, is we can't go 3 for 13 and win a world championship. And so, I mean, those are the type of things that we have to keep proving. We know Tim Tebow did exactly what we thought he could do on Thursday night, that when we get in tough situations, he was a guy that's going to be able to make those plays. He's got the will and the competitiveness to do the things that, you know, you can't coach. And that's exactly what he did on Thursday night and won that football game. If you look at that football game, and then late, they turned him loose late, got him to half personnel and let him go on that 95-yarder, and he used his leg and what he's good at, you know, to win the football game for us. And so, you know, we know we have to have that, but we've got to get better in the passing game.
Well, Elway's not kidding when he said the Broncos have to improve on third down. Third down conversion percentage of 24.6 is the worst in the league since Tebow took over Week 7. Case in point, Broncos were 3 of 13 on third downs in the win over the Jets last Thursday. Tebow today joined Skip Bayless on ESPN2's First Take.
Well, you know, he's one of the best to ever play the game, and I'm honored to play for him and try to win games for him and Coach Fox and Mr. Bolin and everybody involved in this great organization. And you know, he's done so much to build it that you want to go out there every game and you know, try to win games and you know, make this organization proud, and that's our goal every single time we step on the field.
So you don't think his comments are at all unfair to a young quarterback?
You know, I honestly don't pay much attention, and you know, I don't try to focus on anything you know, that doesn't affect me personally and how I go out there every single day. So, you know, I'm just going to continue to work hard and focus on what I can control, and that's it.
The boss talks, but I just don't pay attention. Eric, the fans love him. He is winning. His team's relevant once again, albeit in a poor division, but they're competing. What does he need to do?
Well, there's nothing out of bounds in terms of what John Elway said. He gave an honest assessment in terms of what Tim Tebow needs to improve, and that's in the passing game. If you look at Cam Newton, everybody knows what he can do with his feet, but he's established himself as a guy who can throw from the pocket, and that makes him that much more dangerous. So right now there is a body of work that he has, and the fact that he's winning is positive. But you have to continue to improve if you're going to stay ahead of the curve and stay ahead of defenses as they improve adjusting to you.
Yeah, he does complete only 45% of his passes. He's only thrown 1 pick, but he doesn't throw a lot. You're a wide receiver on Tim Tebow's team playing in that offense, Jerry. How do you react?
I would be so frustrated right now, guys, because the wide receivers, they're getting open, and the ball is not in a perfect spot where they can make the catch and run with the football. And as a receiver, we're a little picky. You know, I like the ball to be in a certain area where I can make the catch, then turn it upfield and try to put points on the board.
All right, well, it is interesting. Everybody has their opinion. They have won 3 straight for the first time since 2009, all with Tebow right there. Coming up on NFL Live, it's so nice to be with the family on the holidays. Hardballs are together Thanksgiving night. This ought to be a lot of fun.
I think for our parents it's good and stuff like that, but really it's going to be the Ravens against the 49ers. It's going to be 2 very good football teams.
And after the break, Eric is back with the Hardball, similar styles, and how it'll turn Thursday night into a chess match.
This is our house! It don't matter where we play or who we play. It just matters how we play.
And the 25 he broke the tackle. Left for the 10. TD. And he makes a one-handed catch for a touchdown.
He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught. Touchdown!
Catch an NFL tripleheader live on ESPN America every Sunday, starting at 1600 CET with Sunday NFL Countdown.
Hey, we got a ball game.
We got a ball game and 2 good football teams.
Welcome to the Eagle Mobile. We have a place where all Eagles fans can come and express their true feelings about Dallas.
The Eagles and the Cowboys for the title.
They say the beast in the East are the Philadelphia Eagles.
They want to put on show. We the show.
I know they lit you. We
can't lose. You kidding me? I hate these Eagles. I hate them. I've got my butt kicked around here so many times. This feels great, baby.
They give it to Smith and they stop him again! They stop him again!
Gentlemen, this is a new season, and for your sake, you should be thankful. Howler, Corso, Herb Street.
They're calling you out.
It's like days of our lives.
Who cares that they lost to Washington?
Watch out! Some of those thoughts and opinions last year wouldn't cut it in my camp. You can do better than that, boys. This is time for some revenge. My picks would run circles around you.
I'm going to go with Cal.
Hook 'em hard.
I like the Cornhuskers.
Roll Tide.
I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Southern California.
Oh, look at the love.
What were you thinking? Oh.
Mission Impossible. Playbook protocol. The mission continues. Targets identified as brothers leading opposite factions. Emotions will run high. One East Coast attack will be led by veteran field agents known for swift and violent defensive measures. The other led by a West Coast band of eager upstarts looking to make a name for themselves. Extreme caution must be exercised. This message will self-destruct in 3, 2, 1.
Well, John Harbaugh's first season as an NFL head coach 3 years ago led the Ravens to 11 wins and a road win over Miami in the playoffs. Younger brother Jim has won 9 of his first 10 with the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners can clinch their first playoff berth since 2002 if they beat the Ravens and Seattle loses to the Redskins this weekend. Breaking down similarities of the brothers, Eric over at the Telestrator.
I get asked all the time, what makes the Harbaugh brothers so successful? And in watching tape this season, what it looks like to me is they do a really good job with in-game adjustments. Let's take a look first here at San Francisco. San Francisco starts with the running game, and it's been creative runs. In this first play, in the first quarter, they're going to block down with the off-the-line tight end. They're going to take the backside guard and block down. They're going to take the front side guard and block back. Now they're going to go 1, 2, 3, and get up there with the tackle, the center, and the tackle. What they're trying to do is they're trying to create angles on the first level at the line of scrimmage, and they're trying to create space by getting up to those linebackers quickly. Right here, you can see the angle that's created, and here's the second level. They're up there quickly. Now Frank Gore has some room to work. You're gonna see a free player coming down into the box. Gore sees that, and here's his running lane, and he's gonna break through that running lane away from the free defender. And what that creates now is him one-on-one versus a safety. Fast forward into the third quarter. Same exact defense, same type of run. Again, it's angles, angles, angles. 1, 2, but 3 is coming down from a distance. They're gonna have to find him here, but they know it's worked once. They've got the same look. They can come back to it. You can see it's created here. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. They're looking for number 3, who's coming down. Gore's gonna have a similar read on the second level. I want you to watch this player right here as he works with number 2, coming up to number 3, but now the running game is, or the running lane is gonna be right here for Frank Gore, where it was to his left on the first one. Slow motion, you can see the tackle push the safety up to the other safety, and that now allows Frank Gore to get out into space. And he gets a penalty on that play, so it ends up being close to 150 yards and 10 points, which was the difference in the game. Here we are in the Ravens game, second quarter. Their best bet is to run the ball and run play action. So they run the play action fake this way. Rice is going to start that way. And Flacco is going to roll out here. Bolden's going to come across. Torrey Smith is going to come up, out, and then go deep, trying to get a home run ball right there. Set it up with the running play. Now build play action off of it. Here's the fake. Cincinnati has 8 guys reacting to the fake. Here comes Bolden. Here comes Torrey Smith. Break it up, out, and then try and get the home run ball. And look at the amount of space that we have available right there for Bolden to work. Flacco starts to roll out. The linebackers looking at Flacco. They don't see Bolden. the backside safeties come over with the front side safety and taking away the home run ball. But Bolden sees this. He sees that he can read away. Flacco sees the same thing. The linebackers aren't looking up Bolden. He throws the ball, and now Bolden's able to bring it inside for a touchdown. Move into the fourth quarter, it's on the 38 instead of the 35. One slight adjustment. They bring in a tight end to sell the run fake more and to hopefully hold Reggie Nelson. It's the same exact play that they ran before. There's your hard sell play action right here. Now you've got the 8 guys in the box, plus you've got Reggie Nelson who is bid up, and he's looking at Pitta. Pitta's going to come across, same as Bolden did. Here comes Torrey Smith up, starting to fake out, and here's the home run ball. Let's see whether or not they can get that deep ball that they couldn't get earlier. They have it because Nelson now is 6 yards shorter than he was before, and he's 6 yards tighter than he was before. They've got a chance to hit the deep ball, and Flacco knows that. They've taken away the crossing route, but that's fine. This is what they wanted the whole time, and it's a really good adjustment, similar to the adjustment that we saw in the San Francisco situation.
Well, coming up, Ndamukong Suh is mean, he's cheap, he's nasty, so his reputation says. We're going to change your mind.
The kids looked like it was Christmas.
Especially when they opened up the boxes and seeing their shoes bright orange. It was their faces that are still stuck in my head to this moment.
They want a show. They about to get one. And everybody wants to look at me and say I'm selfish because I'm yelling. Everybody yells. Just so happens it's me.
Get your popcorn ready.
They ain't ready for this. I appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in. It's a T.O. show right now. Do you got your popcorn ready? How many is that? That's 4. Okay, good. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm in a league of my own. Let's go. Like y'all playing me one-on-one. That's disrespectful. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. It's my quarterback. You guys do that, man. It's unfair. They hate to love me.
It's gonna be a show.
Because I love me some me. Who can make a play? I can. Owen! 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 Owen!
Yo, do whatever y'all want to do. I'm getting ready to eat this food.
Gets stood up at the point of attack and pushed backwards.
And down he goes! Sacked by Julius Peppers. Bray stands in the pocket now, twists away from Julius Peppers. Not quite. Peppers got him. Peppers brings him down with a sack.
Julius Peppers, the best defensive player arguably in the National Football League, doesn't get blocked at all.
It is the new season, and we are set for football.
And here we go.
He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught.
The NFL all season long, live on ESPN America HD.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter reporting the Broncos have waived the quarterback Kyle Orton today. With the emergence of Tim Tebow, Denver felt it wouldn't play Orton, I guess, the rest of the season, seeing if someone will claim him and the $2.5 million he's owed on his contract, give him the chance to play now that teams like Houston, Chicago, Kansas City, all with injuries, significant ones to their starting quarterbacks, are looking for a quarterback. Your thoughts on this once again?
To me, Chicago has to put a claim in for him because the idea of him going through waivers, becoming a free agent, and then you convincing him to come there, that may not necessarily happen. This could be a real gift for them to get a guy back like Orton, who went 21-12 when he was there, and he's got a rapport with the people that are there. This doesn't happen where you lose your starting quarterback and get a quarterback like Kyle Orton who can take you now at the point in the season where they are and give you a legitimate chance to move forward. You look what Oakland had to do to do the same thing. They had to give up a number 1 and number 2 to go get a Carson Palmer. Now you've got a guy on the waiver wire, and it's $2.5 million. But compared to the rest of the salary cap, $120 million with a chance to go to the playoffs, you've got to do it.
The more we've sat here throughout the hour, Eric's just losing his mind over this gift that is allowed.
Eric is all pumped up. He's feeling it, and I totally agree with you. When you can get a guy like that with experience, he's familiar with the organization, he knows the players, and he can come in there and play and really help this team get to the next level. You got to take advantage of it.
Again, his history in Chicago, he was drafted by Chicago in the 4th round of 2005, but then they traded him away in April of 2009 in the Jay Cutler deal. What kind of presence would he be in the locker room? You're a veteran player on that team, a team that's eyeing the postseason. You're saying all the right things about this young kid, Caleb Haney, who's going to come in and lead the way, but now you hear Orton might arrive.
Well, he has this aura about him, and you're going to respect this guy when he steps in the locker room. Now it's going to be up to these receivers and Matt Forte, all of those guys, to get it going. And I'm not saying it's a sure deal right now, but he brings a presence that's really going to help this team and really lift the morale.
And they've won with him. They've won with him in the past. And not taking anything away from Caleb Haney, but this is a proven commodity. And to get it the week that your quarterback gets hurt, to have that opportunity, you got to do it. These opportunities just don't happen, especially not in this timeline.
But now all of a sudden you have Haney looking over his shoulder. And I don't know how that scenario is going to work out.
but he hasn't played yet.
I understand, but you know, once you've been announced, hey, the starting quarterback, you want the team to be behind you 100%. Now there's going to be guys, might be a little split, saying, hey, look, you know, what if Kyle comes in, and you're going to have guys supporting Haney also.
But you know, guys are selfish in the sense that they want to win, and they think that they can bring somebody in, especially who they know and they like and who they've won with before. You're gonna give a a little pat to Caleb Haney, but you're gonna be excited that you have a chance to get a guy like this at this point in the season. You know, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're comparing a guy who's played many, many years, many, many games, and Haney's thrown 14 regular season passes in his 4 years out of Colorado State. Take a look at the Bears' schedule, too. This is something else that is working if there's another bright side for the Bears, and Cutler's injury is their schedule right now. It's at its weakest part. The Bears are in a 4-week stretch where they play nothing but the AFC West. They host Seattle Week 15, conclude the season with divisional road games at Green Bay, and then at a 2-8 currently Minnesota. Not that winning at the Raiders is anything easy, but of their 6 remaining games, only 2 teams have winning records, the Raiders and the Packers. Let's get back to John Clayton joining us now. So, John, as far as Kyle Orton being waived today, can you take us through the waiver process? How does that work?
Well, the waiver process is until 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Any team can put in a claim on them, and the claims basically go if you have the same record by the strength of schedule. The easier the schedule, for example, in the case Chicago has a tougher schedule than Houston. They have the same record. Houston has priority claim over the Chicago Bears. And so let's say that Houston does want to have him come in and replace Matt Schaub. If Schaub can't play the rest of the season, they could get him away from the Bears. Here's 2 other teams to watch, too. Miami could be interested. They're 3-7. They would have the top claim of anybody, but they have a good performance now out of Matt Moore. So I don't see that happening. One team to watch, though, Kansas City. Kansas City's 4-6. You know, Tyler Palko only put 3 points on the board last year, and they put Matt Castle on injured reserve. You kind of get the feeling maybe they sense something is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City steps in and all of a sudden Orton's their quarterback the rest of the year.
All right, so that's the market for Kyle Orton right now. We'll learn a lot between now and tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Meanwhile, John, let's talk about the injury report for the Thanksgiving Day games, and let's begin with Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis, out last Sunday, the victory over the Bengals because of the toe injury. What's the latest with him?
Well, it's all up to Ray because he's going to see how he does in the pregame warm-up, and if he feels that it's going to go, they've given him the ability to say, Ray, go right ahead. It's his decision. So it's going to be a test in that 2-hour period before the game. If he can endure the pain, he's going to try to play. If not, he's going to wait a week and then try to get that toe ready. Miles Austin, though, is not going to be ready to play this week. Very much like Andre Johnson, he needs that 10-day break to try to at least get that hamstring 100%. It's a re-injury of the hamstring. That's why they're not risking it. Austin's going to miss this game on Thursday and then hope to get back after Thanksgiving. James Starks is going to be a game-time decision. He has a knee and an ankle injury, but the good news is that he practiced. this. And the fact that he practiced now will take it to game time. As long as there's no extra swelling, he does have a chance. He does have a chance in the warm-ups. He's the most questionable guy of the Packers overall, so right now he'll be a game time decision. Greg Jennings, meanwhile, he was able to practice on a limited basis. He should be able to play. The knee's just a little bit sore, and the short week makes it a little bit more difficult, but nevertheless, Greg Jennings is not going to miss this game. He knows the importance of it. He knows it's a big platform, and he wants to be there for his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And finally, Javid Best is not going to be able to play. Still not cleared with that concussion. He's still going to be able to play at some point this year. We don't know if it's going to be after Thanksgiving, but he's probably within a couple weeks. Unfortunately, it's not going to be this week.
John Clayton, thanks. Well, the Lions defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh has been fined several times for personal fouls, and he was voted the dirtiest player in the NFL in a midseason player poll conducted by the Sporting News. But off the field, Suh is humble, he's soft-spoken, and has a very clear sense of right and wrong. Well, a couple of months ago, Suh and teammate Javid Best's goodwill was on display in Detroit's inner city. As Tom Jackson reports, Suh's generosity just might ruin his reputation.
I went to the field house and seen that the door had been broken into. The field house door had been basically destroyed.
On a Monday morning on September 26th, the Frederick Douglass football team arrived at their Detroit high school to a startling sight.
Everything in the locker room was gone. The helmets, shoulder pads, and some jerseys were gone.
I didn't think nobody was gonna give us a chance to get our equipment back or confess to stealing our equipment. Thought the season's over.
Just shock and disbelief on everybody's face. At that point, it wasn't looking good. We wasn't even sure if we was gonna be able to play our homecoming game that Friday.
Without equipment and uniforms, the school was considering canceling not only that week's homecoming game, but the rest of the season.
My sister, she had got the call, and she told me about it. I knew I had to do something about it.
It was very sad to hear that somebody would take equipment. That's kind of their freedom, especially after school. They're kind of taking that away from them, and that's something that they deserve and something that they should be entitled to.
It's crazy. I mean, if I was in high school and that happened to me, I'd be devastated. Me and Ndamukong Suh, we decided to team up.
On the day of the homecoming game, the team got a surprise. Lions running back Javid Best and defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh showed up with uniforms and equipment.
When we were handing out the gear to them, the kids looked like it was Christmas. I mean, they were so excited.
You see all their eyes bright up, and especially when they opened up the boxes and seeing their shoes bright orange. It was their faces that are still stuck in my head to this moment.
I was real shocked because they even play in the NFL, and I expect like somebody that big to actually come and help a high school league.
I felt like it was like new life. I was amazed because, I mean, I never saw nothing this new. Everything was brand new.
And it was a great feeling. Showed that people really cared about us.
The team responded, winning their homecoming game 50-0.
First kickoff. Just had to come down there and handle business. Oh, they killed them, yeah. I mean, that just made me excited. They came out fast. I knew they were gonna do something that day.
The season saved, Frederick Douglass made it all the way to the city championship game, which was played at Ford Field.
I was definitely excited for them. I think that they had really nothing to lose because they didn't have to worry about anything. They didn't have to worry about equipment. They didn't have to worry about borrowing and giving back things. And now they have some new flashy gear that they could wear.
Great story from Tom Jackson. And while Frederick Douglass did advance, as you see, to the Detroit City Championship, they wound up losing to Henry Ford High School. Coming up on NFL Live, well, you take the good with the bad when it comes to Tony Romo. How do you manage the risk? Coach Mangini explains the heartburn. Is that a right way to put it? A talent like Tony Romo can give a coach.
That's pretty accurate, yep.
Gut-wrenching.
College football lives here. Coverage begins with College Game Day, Saturday at 1500 CET, live on ESPN America.
Don't get no better than this, 3-3. Been waiting for this one. Hey, watch him, Jules. Hey, him. Both. 59. What was that?
Brady to throw, looking, fires, caught inside the 5-yard line and into the end zone.
Way to hold up, fellas. It's a fun way to start this game, huh? What was that? We're gonna fight! We're gonna lay down! Right, y'all? Hey, take it to another level, right? Gotta work harder! Gotta do more! We are not finished! We are not finished, fellas! Gotta start competing, huh? Start playing with the fire, all of us. It's gonna be a great comeback, guys! It's gonna be a great comeback!
Brady, quarterback sneak, right up the middle, touchdown.
And Brady has been lights out.
That was a tough one. That's a lot tougher.
Here they are, the national panel.
Every day I lose, I die just a little. Around the horn is my favorite to do.
Let's go to work.
He's not that popular. Tell me, they win bad games. I have a real problem with it because he punched a guy.
Why'd you have to go get Woody all riled up?
Get over it. I'm fine with it.
What more could you possibly want? The perfect bobblehead technique. It's not over, it's just beginning.
Don't miss Around the Horn, weekdays on ESPN America.
The middle game of the Thanksgiving Day tripleheader, Dolphins at Dallas, and the Cowboys will continue to taste greatness so long as Tony Romo keeps up his recent play. Romo's thrown 8 touchdowns during a 3-game win streak. More importantly, he has not turned it over once. So Romo looks very good, very fancy, in fact, when he makes plays like he did against the Redskins on Sunday. The move left, spinning away from pressure to find Jason Witten. Fabulous when they work, but when they don't. As a coach, how do you manage the risk that is Romo?
Yeah, it's tough because with Brett Favre, he made so many incredible plays by taking chances, and you don't want to lose those plays. You don't want to take that away from him. But what you want him to do is make sure the chances are calculated. And he and I sat down in my office one day, and I said, look, Brett, I'm not asking you to change who you are by any stretch because it's been fantastic. What I'm asking you to do is don't hit on 16. If the chance seems like it's a little bit too much, we don't need that play. And it's a delicate balance because you don't want to lose what you have, but you don't want to take those chances that put you in a bind and lose games.
You're right about that, Eric, and I like DeMarco Murray. You hand the ball off to him. This guy can hit the ball up inside. He can also get outside and be a bruiser. But what I like about him, he brings a dimension to the game. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. So that takes a lot of pressure off Tony Romo where he doesn't feel like he has to force the ball downfield.
And Dallas has remained committed to the running game, too, which has had to help Romo.
It's huge because it changes the box count. It gives them cleaner reads. Whenever you can do that, you have an advantage as a quarterback just by cleaning things up and giving you an idea where to go to the ball with the ball pre-snap.
So even when Murray's not putting up the big numbers, their commitment, the defense has to at least respect it.
It does, yep.
Okay, moving on, let's take a look at Reggie Bush. After all, the Cowboys' next 2 games are against 3 and 7 teams, but one is Miami, and Bush is suddenly dangerous. Early returns on Bush, well, not favorable. He scored only 1 touchdown and had over 300 yards from scrimmage in the first 7 games, but in his last 4, Bush has rushed for 103 yards against the Giants and has scored a total of 4 touchdowns. With the ESPN.com fantasy trade deadline coming soon, here's one guy you're not going to want to deal, Eric Karabell. Eric, I'll get to the people you might want to deal in just a moment, but I want your thoughts on Kyle Orton. Would you suggest people go out and pick him up now?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I mean, there's a possibility he lands on a team like Houston or Kansas City with elite wide receiver talent, Dwayne Bowe and Andre Johnson. And if he goes back to the Bears, he's already played well for the Bears from a fantasy aspect. Won't be a top 10 guy, but a lot of people have lost their starting quarterbacks in the last few weeks. He really could matter depending on where he goes.
All right, now, who are some of the guys you trade for or trade away at this point? Buy and sell.
Buying and selling. The trade deadline, by the way, is on Wednesday in ESPN Standard Leagues. Phillip Rivers of the Chargers leads my quarterback list. Played better over the past couple of weeks with 8 touchdowns. Obviously, a lot of interceptions this season, but he's playing better, and so is Vincent Jackson. I trust this passing offense, and I like their schedule. LeGarrette Blount, 16 fantasy points this past weekend, but the reason I love him is he's got the Carolina Panthers on the schedule twice in the next 4 weeks. That is by far the easiest team to run against in the NFL this year for fantasy running backs. Blount's going to have a nice second half. You know, Matt Forte wasn't playing all that well, even with Jay Cutler. He's the number 6 running back for the season, but he's top 12 fantasy points only once since week number 5. I would sell high on Forte. I don't think he's going to end up in the top 10. And Kevin Smith, come on. 38 fantasy points this past weekend. He's not going to do that again. He did it against, again, Carolina. The schedule gets a lot tougher. Green Bay starting on Thursday. Kevin Smith is not durable enough or good enough to be getting 20 fantasy points every week. If he gets you 10, good luck. I would pick him up and trade him now before it's too late.
Eric Carabell with all your fantasy news. Thank you, Eric. Up next, the 3 of us going through the top 10 of these top plays of Week 11.
Flacco rolls to the right. He wants it all. He's going end zone. Looking for Torrey Smith. He's got him. Touchdown! Torrey Smith.
My dream, man. Dreamed of this since I was 6, watching you, Dion, all y'all.
There you go. You're beautiful.
Huh?
I'll never tell you that you're beautiful.
Let's have a fun night tonight, man.
That's all we can do. Romo on the shotgun, 3rd and 8, under some pressure. Looks right, throws down the right sideline. What a catch by Des Bryant.
I thought I had him out of bounds, but I got him. I respect you too, boy. Hey, it's real talk. Hey, we gonna dug it out like some bulls now. Come on, man! Come on!
They rush 4. Romo rolling right, throws right sideline, intercepted, picked up by Revis.
What? That's how you do it, bro! Hey, much respect, bro. You know, it's all competition out there, man. Hey, man, you got some heart, man.
I called the president. President, we need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots. So call the dogs off. Send the National Guard, please. They need emergency help. Please help these folks. They're coming. Help is on the way. Help is on the way.
Monday Night Football live on ESPN America. It's Week 12, and it's time to get serious in the Superdome. Manning returns to his hometown looking to rack up another road win for the Giants. But Breeze and the Black and Gold are ready to make a statement of their own in the Big Easy. It all starts at 0100 CET with Monday NFL Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
Snap is back out of the gun, standing and looking, spins left, throws it down the field to Witten, crossing at the 30-yard line, down to the 20, left sideline, Witten, rumble you big man, touchdown Jason Witten, 58 yards.
That was the fancy play I was talking about earlier. Let's count them down, the top 10 of Week 11. Oh, Jerry, this one's for
Megatron,
you.
all the way right there.
It's so
Went
hard.
high to make that catch.
It's so hard even when you double them, Jerry. And you got to time it up just right. And somehow they still get it in.
He had 89 yards in the game. Titans and Falcons, Jake Locker to Nate Washington.
Press man-to-man coverage.
Little stiff arm right there,
Yes.
and he's into the end zone.
Safety's got to make the play on that one. The corner misses.
And that's Locker's first career TD pass. The Titans lost 23-17, but Locker looked good. Number 8, Monday Night Football, Julian Edelman. What didn't he do?
I tell you, he played offense, he played defense, he returned punts, and he looked pretty good doing all of those things. And you can return a kick like this, it changes the complexion of the game.
And he's looking at himself on the big screen.
You ever do that, Jerry?
No.
Yeah, right. Bengals and Ravens, Andy Dalton is picked. Ladarius Webb dives for it.
I'll tell you, this is a hard interception for a quarterback because he really throws it away from the receiver. It's just an amazing catch by the defensive back, Ladarius Webb.
Cardinals and Niners.
Yep.
Richard
Larry
Bartell.
Fitzgerald. That's like an amazing catch right there, to be able to keep his vision and still make that catch. You know, that's Larry Fitzgerald.
And that's Bartell's first career TD pass. Bengals, Ravens, back here again. Dalton down the sideline. What a grab, Jerome Simpson.
And we're seeing this in play after play where the defensive backs aren't timing up their jumps properly, and the way the receivers are able to go up and get these balls. You try to work on it with DBs, but it's just such a hard thing to rep.
Eagles and Giants, Vince Young, Jason Avant. Look at this. Look at this catch. We're going to see it again, Jerry.
Oh, that's just like shoe shine right there. Look at that. Oh, you know, it shows that, you know, he has great hands and he was able to pull that one in.
They needed it for the game-winning drive. Number 3, back to the Ravens and Bengals again. Joe Flacco, Torrey Smith.
This is the one that we talked about before. They set it up early, come back to it, hold the backside safety, and really he's doing what they thought Lee Evans would do.
He had a nice game, 6 receptions, 165 yards. Chargers and Bears at number 2, Jay Cutler, Johnny Knox.
This is just like an amazing adjustment right here. Jay Cutler gave him a chance, and Johnny Knox was able to make that catch.
But the number 1 play of the week is the reason why, well, Jerry says the Packers are going to bring big defense against the Lions. LeGarrette Blount.
Oh, he's just running over people. Look at him. He's determined not to go down, still running, high knee, and he's determined to get into that end zone.
I'll tell you, this is the best way to play defense against the Green Bay Packers, is to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field by running the ball. If you can do this, you got a real chance.
Well, he did it quite well there, although the Packers won the game 35-26, and they're perfect. 10-0. We continue. All's good with the Saints except for the coin toss. You won't believe their record in the coin toss and Jerry Rice's can't-miss approach to the toss. It's very scientific, right, Jerry?
College football lives here. Coverage begins with College Game Day, Saturday at 1500 CET, live on ESPN America.
As the thermometer flirts with 0, the Cleveland Rams and the Washington Redskins meet for the Pro title with an early interception by the Skins, putting them on the warpath. And they collect an early Rams scalp with Phil Shock on the passing end, tossing down the field to that ex-Irish star Bagaris, who sidesteps neatly and goes over for the score. A freezing crowd warms to this game as they see a brand of football like this Ram end sweep by Gillette that totals a neat 24 yards. Waterfield, the Rams quarterback, is today's hero as he proves with this toss down the field to Benton for a Ram marker. Rams prepare to try that extra point after touchdown. Watch that ball juggle itself before going over for the point that proved the ball game. Washington rooters may be just cold or doing a war dance, but it does them no good. The Skins can't get ahead of players like Gerke, who rounds his end to pocket 20 yards for the Rams. After the first quarter, the Rams were never behind, and to sew things up, this Waterfield forward to Gillette makes them champs by 1 point, 15-14.
Now on 2nd and 2, you get a first at the 1. They run it again with Green Ellis, and he carries Boo-Haw with him. Touchdown, New England.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He is the slammer.
Green Ellis in for the touchdown. His second of the day.
running is tough, hard, especially when they get near the goal line. Go with the man that you trust.
I'm Michael Kim. Coming up Wednesday on SportsCenter. It may not be March, but there's plenty of college basketball madness. Dozens of teams in action. Leading the way, #1 North Carolina. Meanwhile, 15th ranked Michigan will have to duke it out against the #6 Blue Devils in Maui. We head to Green Bay, where the undefeated Packers are prepping for their short week matchup against the Lions. Plus, who takes home the NL MVP? That's Wednesday on SportsCenter.
This week, Monday Night Football, battle of the NFC contenders, the Giants and the Saints. Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 with Monday Night Countdown. Well, the Saints have played 10 games, and somehow they've managed to lose 11 coin tosses this season. New Orleans has lost all 10 at the start of the game. They lost the one at the start of overtime against Atlanta, too. So, Jerry, you've called many a coin toss. What's the strategy?
Well, they're going about it the wrong way, because if your mind is thinking one thing, you're thinking heads, you go with tails. And I always wanted the football because the butterflies, and I wanted to get that first hit and get going.
And you would call it because you had seniority?
Oh, yes, yes. You know, it has a lot to do with that, you know, the time that you put on the football field.
And I had no idea today how it was chosen out there. I just said, we want the ball or we want to defend, and told the guys that. I had no idea.
And you never worried about who was calling it?
No.
I had it all under control.
That's going to do it for NFL Live. Thanks for watching.
ESPN America. American for sports.
It's going to be east, right, flop, V right, all the way outside, Y left, fake 396 bag, V hinge, Z puck. Is that long enough for you? Yeah, we got it. Blue 58 to on. Flash. 319. 319. I know, I got to get it out a little quicker than that, huh? 319! 319!
Rodgers under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, bootlegs right. Sets up plenty of time, rainbows deep down the middle, Nelson, touchdown! A thing of beauty!
Just be alert, we're going surprise onside, maybe.
Get ready, it's onside kick. I don't want to put my helmet on yet. It might, but just get ready. He's really doing it.
14-3 Packers, Crosby's kickoff, and it's a squib kick. It bounds to the right side, onside kick caught by Jordy Nelson. A surprise onside kick by Mason Crosby. Rodgers play action off the snap, throws the middle of the end zone. Wow. He's got Jones, touchdown! First and 10 at the 11. Rodgers takes pump fakes, now it opens up. Red Sea for Moses. Rodgers end zone. Touchdown! And he made a quick movement, a belt movement. Now he's going to head to the south end zone stand.
That's a fun one there, huh? Yeah.
Bill Plaschke, Tim Kalishaw, Kevin Blackistone, Bob Ryan. Today, Sid the Magnificent.
Wow.
Gronk the Great.
Ooh, watch his neck. Wow.
Rich the Rodriguez, and Texas Ranger remodeling.
Yeah.
We got 12 topics today. Ugh. But only one winner.
And it's not that chair. Not that chair.
It's Around the Horn, presented by Guinness Black Lager, part of Happy Hour. Here's Tony Reale.
Hey now, welcome back around. Today, Elway not sold on Tebow. Bobby V in Boston, and whether Urban will be dotting the I in Columbus in the near future. But first,
it's the first word.
I know you want to say it, so here's a preemptive. It was against the Islanders, but come on, man. First hockey in 320 days, and 5 minutes in, a gorgeous goal. Third period, an absurdo angled goal. And for the game, for Sid Crosby, the Chuck Woolery, 2-2. Gotta ask you, Bill Plaschke, was Crosby's return bigger for the Penguins, the NHL, the world?
It was just huge, Tony. What a wonderful night, even for non-hockey fans, just to watch this and see this. 61 games he missed, 320 days he missed. Just 2 months ago, the doctors were talking about, well, we worried about his head, his perception, his brain, his mind. It was all on display last night. He was as smart and as sharp as he's ever been. It made me want to stand up and cheer him. But is it bigger for hockey or the Penguins? It's bigger for hockey because you have to remember the Penguins, during those 61 games he missed, they only lost 19 of them. They're a pretty good team, and they're going to be a better team. But again, their record was pretty good when he wasn't there. He supersedes Pittsburgh. It's all of hockey. He's the face of hockey to me.
Shaw, you agree?
Fan.
Yeah, I think it was really big for all of the above. And if you look at the Penguins, they're a real good team without him. They're probably your pick to get to the Stanley Cup Finals with him. So it's big for them. But I'm going to say it's bigger for hockey, mainly because this is a sport, unlike NBA, it does not have a lot of marketable stars. There aren't a lot of, even the great players, people don't, in other cities, don't buy tickets to go see them. There's really Crosby and there's Ovechkin. And we've talked about Ovechkin's troubles this year. So in a lot of ways, there's been nothing. I don't think people in Anaheim or Denver say Steven Stamkos is coming to town. We got to go see Tampa Bay. Everybody in every town knows about Sidney Crosby. And when he plays like last night, everybody wants
Kevin Blackstone.
He is the biggest star that hockey has. He's somebody that everybody can relate to. He transcends the game. He's a guy who was on display as a star, not only in the Stanley Cup, but also at the Olympics. So everybody knows this guy. So this is great for hockey. Not only that, but it also brings up the whole concussion issue in hockey. And so it's really good to see someone of his stature who we knew was missing and was out, someone who it had been rumored, there was even discussion that he may not even play again, come back, have his health intact, absorb the blows last night, and then just play absolutely spectacularly. That was the amazing thing. He wasn't just good last night. He was spectacular.
Nobody could have expected that, right?
No.
Bob Ryan, get in there.
It was an absolutely fictional evening for him, and it reminded everybody how great he is. But I certainly, is most importantly, number one, the most important person, himself, to restore himself, get himself back after all that time. It's so he can remind himself and reassure himself that he's still Sidney Crosby. Number two, the team, of course. And then number three, the league in general terms, but only in terms of solidifying the fan base it already has. I think there's a very minimal chance of the league expanding beyond those parameters. Even now in the basketball strike, all three teams in New York are showing dramatic reductions, lockout, dramatic reductions in ratings. It just shows that there's a very niche thing about hockey.